Hello everyone, this is False Mind Reads, and today I'm going to be reviewing Before They're Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. And I just want to start off this review by saying I am still mad at people for how they recommend this book series. It's a little bit baffling that I could have missed out on what is quickly becoming one of my favorite reading experiences, just because people were too caught up on a gimmick word. This book is not grimdark. It's still not grimdark. I thought maybe the first book wasn't grimdark, but it would get grimmer and grimmer. And there's still hope, and there's still like there's still not grimdark. It's still not grimdark. I don't know what else to say. It's not grimdark. But yeah, my rant last time still stands. I am like, why? Anyways, this book though was great. I would say I liked it just about the same as the first one, Blade itself, and I gave that one a 4.5. So I'm giving this one a 4.5, just to say like I really enjoyed it, right? But it didn't have that. It had minor complaints about it, and it didn't have that that ringing. Like I didn't feel like there's 5-star books. I like feel like a ringing. It feels like a bell in my body, like dong, and then you just can't. There's no going back from who you were. Like there's no going back to who you were before reading this book. And this wasn't one of those, but it was so fun. It got right up to like that, like genuinely when I tell you the first part when Glocta was in Dogska, I'm just gonna call it Dogska, but when he was there, it was genuinely some of the most, like, it was almost like a thriller. How I imagine, I've never read a thriller, but how I imagine a thriller would go, right? It was just constantly like, oh, read, and the nice thing is I was never sad to be like done a chapter. I was always more excited for the next one, because there's books where you're like, there's like five characters, and 2 of them you're like, I hate, or not hate, but like I can't read, like I hate reading from their perspective. I don't like reading from their perspective. And then there's like one that you love and you can't wait to get it back around, and it becomes sort of a thing where you are sad to leave a perspective. I was never sad to leave a perspective. I was always happy to go to the other characters. I was very excited to get back to the Doxka stuff. All that stuff was just so thrilling, at least in part 1. I will say this, my minor complaint is that I think that Joe Abercrombie writes better part 1s than he does part 2s. Because part 1 in this book has political intrigue, it has like setting up for war in like West and Dogman, like all their plot lines. I don't think they're necessarily better. Glocta's plotline definitely better in the first part for me, but this book, I enjoyed the first part more than I did the second part, which is to say, like, the first part was a 4.5 and the second part was a 4.25. Like, it was just minor nitpicks, and like you take away the best plotline of the book, and it's gonna get, it's not gonna get boring, but it's just gonna be a little less than it was. But other than that, like, I originally, when I was first reading, like when I first started reading this, my complaint was that they basically took my favorite character, Giselle, they took him out of his space. Like, he is my favorite character because I enjoyed reading about him in that setting, right? The dandy, like the fencing and I'm just a bad person, but it's like, right, it's like reading about a rich person. Like, it's like watching Succession, right? They're in their element. If you took them out of that show and put them in another show, they'd feel lost and floundering. And that's what Giselle felt, and I think that he, like, you're supposed to be like, dude, he's a complete, like, nothing. Like, he's nothing. What happened to the person I liked reading about, or the character I liked reading about? And that's what you're supposed to feel, because you're supposed to be like, what the hell? And then Logan and Pharaoh, what can I say? That was genuinely, like, this book fixed one of my major complaints about the first book, and that is there was no friendships. Logan was alone Logan was alone for like the start, and then Baez and Quay, but he was never friends with them. He was merely just traveling companions, like walking the road together. Not even in this book they're bound by travel. In the last book they were just kind of walking along the same road, going to the same place, right? And then you had Giselle with his friends who were just, they were just nothing. They were the proximity, basically. They were proximity friends. And you had West with his sister, but you know how that ended last book. That's still like probably the most shocking moment out of the whole series, up like out of the first two books. It's just that moment between RD and West. Oh my god. And then like Glocta, he had his friends, but his friends are less like, Severand or whatever. And Frost, there's no friendship. There's no friendship there. It's like they have a good working relationship, right? And they can trust each other when working, but like it's not friendship. They wouldn't hang out together. Sorry, let me just throw this thread away. Yeah, and it really, like, that's all to say that it came back around and it really improved itself when reading the second book. One complaint I have, though, is this cover. I got this one secondhand, and the only reason that I'm reading this series in the first place is because I have this one, or because they had this one. This one was the one that was missing off of the shelves at Chapters, and I finally got the second one. I decided to give it a read. And you know what? Like, I read the first one. I got the other two after. And I hate these covers. These editions, they're fine. But they're the US editions. Like, look at all those. These all suck. These all suck. Like, come on. Sharp Ends is fine because there's never been... I don't think there's ever been another edition of that. But it's like... I think I've seen the UK edition, and the US edition looks better than the UK edition. But, like, you can see over there, like, I have the UK edition of The Blade itself, of Best Served Cold, and The Heroes. And I have the UK edition. It's so much better. The only thing is that the UK editions do, like, the ink does smudge. It's like a mass market. But it's... I don't know. I never enjoy these big ass Orbit volumes either. Like, physically reading from this, like, just not my favorite thing. But that is not the book's fault. The text is pretty good. It was fun all the way through. I found it was kind of slow starting with the whole, like, adventuring plot line to get the seed, but after it got chugging along, and after the kind of the wheels got greased of the socializing the group, it was fun. But the only thing is Quay was written really different. Like, he was really out of character. Like, he's like, what was with that? I don't know, but like that's one thing I did notice. Like, it was when he was like challenging him. I was like, bro, come on. The guy from the first book never would have done that. What's going on? What is going on? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. It was a very good book. I give it 4.5. You know what? I want to reread this trilogy already, and that's how you know it's a good trilogy, or at least the first two are, which is most of the trilogy. But yeah, okay. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.